Hello and welcome back to Football Fanatics Weekly. As always, I am Garrett Ettinger, joined by Mr. Hugh Hayner. How are you doing this week, Hugh?
I'm doing good, Garrett. How are you? You ready to talk some football?
I am indeed. So this week, listeners, we are going to do a quick review of some of the Premier League results that happened this past weekend. And then we are going to talk about the Champions League games that happened this week and discuss those games and what that means for the Champions League going forward. So, we're just going to talk quickly about some of the Premier League results this weekend. So, Hugh, which result would you like to start with?
Let's quickly go with the Burnley result. Burnley 2, Everton 1. Um, yeah, this is kind of another poor result for Everton here. And are Everton in a little bit of danger now?
Um, I don't think so. Not really. They only need, two more wins to get that kind of 40-point safety net. So I think they'll be okay.
hmm Yeah, I think so as well. I think this is kind of another one of those where it's like, yeah, Big Sam's probably going to go in the summer after this.
Yeah, yeah.
um, Also, Burnley in seventh place right now. Looks like they're gonna get Europa League football next year.
Yeah, that's very exciting for them.
I
So,
mean, Burnley seems to be a tough team to beat, especially at home. Um, do you think they can make a little bit of noise in the Europa League? Maybe.
uh, maybe we'll see. We'll see. I mean, certainly if they can beat teams like Everton, who played in the Europa League several times over the last 3 or 4 or 5
Right.
seasons, I think I'll have a shot at it. Yeah.
Yeah, I think so as well. Um, Last question about Burnley Everton. Sean Dyche, is he the manager of the season so far?
Uh, Difficult to say he's the manager of the season over Pep.
Yeah.
Um, but possibly.
Yeah, he's done really well with what he's got. Um, let's move on then to Swansea. And last week we kind of were like, Swansea had a loss last week, and they were like, yeah, what are they going to do now? They respond this week with a 4-1 win, just absolute domination over West Ham, and this is a huge 3 points for them. How does this make you feel about going forward with Swansea?
I mean, it makes me feel pretty good about Swansea. I don't think that West Ham performed very well at all in this game. Um, but I think you know this result kind of showed that all of the things are there for Swansea. You know, their squad is a good squad ultimately. Basically, they have everything they need to just win these games. They just have to get it done.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. Um, as far as so all of the teams that are kind of in this relegation zone, in this relegation battle, um, Carlos Carvalho, I think you'd have to say he's been the best of the new managers that have come in for these clubs. Um, I think he's certainly gotten the most points out of the new ones. Um, and it's kind of surprising because he was sacked by a lower league team and then picked up by Swansea. Um, did you expect this from him? I mean, this is kind of a surprise to me, at least, that he would do so well. And it seems like he's given Swansea a really good chance to stay up.
Yeah, I mean, I think sometimes I think sometimes clubs change their managers, and it's not necessarily so much that this new manager that they have kind of comes in and really makes all these fantastic changes and propels the team forward. I think sometimes teams just have they get a manager things kind of start to go south with that manager, and then once they do, they don't necessarily need to bring in some great replacement. They just need to bring in someone different. So I think that might be the case here.
Yeah.
I don't think Carlos Carvalho's done well, but he's not he's not the most impressive manager, I think.
Yeah.
But he's done well for Swansea. He's gotten them up out of the relegation zone. That's really important. So they are, they're certainly in a better position than when he joined, which is good.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, this was one of the worst teams in the league when he joined. So, and they're looking all right now.
Yeah, they're shaping up
for sure. After that, we've got Spurs getting a 2-0 win and Liverpool also getting a 2-0 win. This kind of kept the pressure on Chelsea and Man United in that top four race. A little interesting note here, Harry Kane and sorry, I can't think of his name at the moment. Mohamed Salah, are both on 24 Premier League goals for the season. Who do you rate for the Golden Boot?
I have no idea. At all. I think I'm gonna go with Harry Kane just for the safe option, but I mean, like, at this point, you might as well just flip a coin to find out, because I think it could so easily be either of them. And I have no reason to pick one or the other, right? Harry Kane has done so well over the past few seasons, but at the same time, Liverpool just bought Mohamed Salah this season, and he's already, joint top scorer. So what does that say about his ability? I think time will tell. There's no way to know.
Yeah.
Hopefully neither of them gets injured.
Yeah, that would be a bit rough for both of their teams' top four hopes and also for their Golden Boot race. So, I hope to see a really good race right till the end for that. Let me ask you about Mohamed Salah for a second. Is he going to follow Coutinho's footsteps and be bought by one of the big boys of Europe? Liverpool has, they're building. They seem like they got something special coming up, but are they going to be able to keep Salah and Mane, honestly?
I think it depends on how long he can kind of keep up his good run of form for. I think, some of it depends on ultimately how many goals he does end up scoring, right? I think if he gets past the 30 goal mark this season, he's going to start turning some heads from some bigger clubs, but I just don't know, who's going to buy him, right?
Mm-hmm.
Where's he going to fit in at, Real Madrid? Where's he going to fit in at PSG? Where's he going to fit in at Barcelona? He could go to one of them. Yeah, and I think, we'll see. We'll see, I guess, is basically the thing. After a World Cup, there's always kind of some jostling that happens with, who's sort of on big clubs' most wanted lists, right? Real Madrid famously sort of buy the best player at the World Cup. We'll see. If that's Mohamed Salah, then, he could very well be going to Real Madrid.
Right. And, I feel like he could easily take Karim Benzema's place in the starting lineup at Real Madrid. Can you imagine a front three of Bale, Ronaldo, and Salah? Oof. Terrifying stuff.
Yeah.
So with Spurs and Liverpool getting a 2-0 win, Chelsea really needed to get a result against City, and that's obviously easier said than done, but they were unable to do that. 1-0 loss. Bernardo Silva getting another goal. He's been in really, really good form recently for City. And for Chelsea, this puts them. They're 5 points behind Tottenham now. They got a decent gap they're going to have to make up. Is this kind of the end of the line for Chelsea's top four hopes?
If you would have asked me on Monday, I think I would have said no. But now that Tottenham are out of the Champions League and they just have Premier League to focus on, I think it might be. Yeah.
Yeah, I completely agree with that statement. Yeah, I think Tottenham now has nothing else to really go for, and they're going to make sure that they're back in the Champions League next year. Yeah, I think Chelsea's just been in. I mean, we knew they were going to have a tough time with their results and with their fixtures in late February and early March. They've had Barcelona twice, City, and United. So those aren't easy places to go. Those aren't easy games to play. But I mean, they needed to get some results, and they've only gotten one result, and that was against Barcelona in the first leg. Yeah, I think this is probably as well. I think I agree. The end of the line for Chelsea's top four hopes, but they could prove us wrong. 5-point gap at this point, a little bit tough. After that, we have Brighton 2, Arsenal 1. I mean, Arsenal are they might be the most out of form team in the Premier League right now, maybe tied with West Brom.
Yeah, man. It is. Hugh, how many games does Arsenal have to lose before Arsene Wenger gets sacked?
I think he won't get sacked, no matter what. I think he could lose.
No matter what.
I think he could lose all of the games for the rest of the season, and they will not sack him until the season's over.
That's ridiculous.
It is, and I don't agree with it. I think they should have sacked him a long time ago, but I don't think they're going to. And I think at this point now, they're not going to make top four. They're probably going to stay sixth. I think you just let him ride it out. I think you let him know. I think you let him know. I think you let the club know. I think you let the Premier League know he's done after this season, so that way they can prepare and you can have a really nice testimonial game after the season. You can have a really nice last home game where they can honor him or something. I think you let him know, but I think they're not going to sack him before the season's over.
All right, well. You heard it here first, folks.
Yeah. I don't agree with it, but
Arsene Wenger is guaranteed employment.
Pretty much. Yeah, I think he's got tenure now, which is not a great thing at a Premier League club of this standard when they're doing this poorly.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. After that, we have a potential game of the season contender with Crystal Palace 2, Man United 3. Pretty impressive comeback from Manchester United. I think this is the first time they've come back from 2-0 down to win a game since 2013. So it's been 5 years since they've come back and won from 2-0 down. How impressed are you with Manchester United, or are you kind of a little bit shaky because of their first half?
Well, I mean, look, their first half wasn't good, right?
Right.
They looked a little bit sluggish in that first half of that game. So, obviously it's good that they came back and won, right? They came back, they scored 3 good goals. They really kind of took charge in the second half. Got just a little bit fortunate with a couple of things, but
yeah.
I think that on the basis of that second half performance, they certainly deserve to get something out of the game.
Right.
Obviously, I remember the last time that Manchester United came back from going 2-0 down, and that was when David Moyes was manager.
Yeah.
So, that season did not go well, right?
Right.
They went 2 goals down to Hull City that season, and then they ended up winning 3-2, and Yeah, those were not easy times to be a Manchester United fan.
Not at all.
Um, so that doesn't necessarily mean that Manchester United are on some great run of form, but I think it's good that that Jose Mourinho was able to get the win here, and I think it's encouraging that for Manchester United at least, that even though they're out of the title race, they're still sticking with these games until the end. They're still trying to get results out of them, and that's really important because they're still not guaranteed top four.
Right.
So good that they got this win. What was I going to ask you about? I'm not entirely sure. Oh. What did you think of Matic's goal at the end of the game?
I mean, it's got to be a goal of the season contender.
Yeah,
Absolute. I
yeah,
mean, unreal strike. Took me by surprise, that's for sure.
yeah. For a first goal for the club, that's certainly the way to do it.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, what a strike. Yeah, like you said with the results, I think it's important for United to keep getting results from these games. One, because it delays City winning the title, which is something they obviously want to do. And also, I mean, they've got a really nice 9 point cushion now. They can relax a little bit. They get a couple more wins, and they've got top four completely safe now. So, I think I read somewhere they're on track. This will be the first season they'll get 80 points if they continue in their same amount of results. This is the first time they'll get 80 points since Sir Alex. So that's progress for sure.
Yeah, definitely.
Quick note on the City winning the title. Apparently, if results stay the same, like if United keeps winning and City keeps winning, if City beats United in the next derby, City will win the title at the derby.
Mm.
That is painful if
yeah,
United lose that.
yeah.
How
Well,
important is that derby game then?
for the course of the season, it doesn't really matter, but I think,
Right.
I think yeah. Both teams will definitely show up to play for that game.
Absolutely. Yeah. That could
Yeah,
be one of the ugliest and best derby games we've seen in a while.
yeah,
Yeah, that would be humiliation for United if that were to happen.
yeah,
But yeah, we'll see. That's a bit of a ways off, but we will definitely bring coverage of that when it happens.
yeah. Um, so I think final thoughts on this game and sort of the Arsenal game. I think the Manchester United response to going 2-0 down to a lower league side
Mhm.
versus the Arsenal response to going 2-0 down to a lower league side, I think kind of tells you all you need to know about why these two teams are where they are in the table right now, right?
Yeah, totally agree.
I think, the difference between scoring one goal and losing and scoring three goals and winning is the kind of thing with the team's attitude um, that kind of makes the difference right now, I think.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, I think so. I mean, you can kind of tell the players they're not particularly enthused to play for Arsene Wenger.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Well, that about wraps it up for our Premier League coverage for this week. We will make sure to bring you guys coverage next week of all the Premier League action, including Manchester United versus Liverpool, and that's happening Saturday morning. So we're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back. And welcome back to Football Fanatics Weekly for the second segment, where we're going to talk Champions League, where 4 teams are already through now. And those teams are Liverpool, Real, Juventus, and Manchester City. What's the biggest surprise of those teams?
Uh, Prop, honestly, on the basis of um, the results in the last leg, I would say probably Juventus. I mean, I think there was really no question in anybody's mind that Manchester City and Liverpool both wrapped up their qualification.
Right.
Um, Real Madrid, dispatch PSG easy enough. But I think, Juventus after that first game, it kind of felt like a defeat, right? One of
Right.
those games where you do really well, you get the lead, then the other team comes back to earn the draw, but it feels a bit more like a defeat. And I think it was always sort of in Tottenham's favor that they had those two away goals.
Right.
So
Right.
I think that kind of lends to um, the scale of Juventus's accomplishment to come back and get out of this tie. So
Yeah, I think their experience really showed through and really helped in this game. Their defense, it was pretty solid. I won't say it was completely rock solid, but especially towards the end of the game when they were up 2-1, you just see the sacrifice from Chiellini to put his body on the line and just block everything.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah, you have to say Juventus deserved it. I would say they probably weren't the better team for a majority of these two ties. I think for maybe like a 10 to 20 minute period in each game, they were the better team, but that's probably about it. But the difference
yeah,
is when they were the better team, they took their chances.
yeah, yeah. They were. I would say they were pretty clinical in this tie.
What does this mean for the progression of Tottenham as a football club? They're getting the new stadium coming up soon, but how long are they going to be able to keep this group of players, excuse me, together in one place? And this
Um,
manager as well.
yeah, I think that really depends on how long it is until Tottenham win a major trophy,
Hmm.
or if they win a major trophy, I guess I should say. I personally had pretty high hopes for Tottenham in the Champions League this year. I thought that they could go, pretty far after the last game. I thought that they would probably, get out of this tie. I mean, I think that they proved in the group stage that they can beat any team in this competition over two legs, right? They beat,
Hmm.
the reigning champions in the group stages. So it's a little bit disappointing that they went out in the round of 16. Um, but I really think it depends on how long they go without winning something. I think if a few more seasons come and go and Harry Kane has an empty trophy case still, I think he's going to be looking around at that point
Right.
because you know you he does so well at Tottenham and he loves the club and all this, but I just feel like as a player you ultimately want to win trophies and Tottenham are not winning trophies right now. So I think you know something has to change, right? Either they have to start winning trophies or you know their big players are going to start moving away.
Right. Yeah, I agree. Um, yeah, so for Tottenham going forward, then into next year, you think they're going to keep everyone this summer?
Yes. Yeah. Yeah, I think they'll keep everyone this summer, but I think next season could be a tipping point. Really, I think if they
Right.
have another season where they don't come close in the Premier League, they don't really come close in the Champions League. I just feel like at that point, if I was Harry Kane, if I was Dele Alli, if I was Christian Eriksen, I would start to look around.
Yeah, agreed. Um, yeah, so Porto and Liverpool, those are kind of that one was pretty much wrapped up. 5-0 in the first leg. City and Basel, that was pretty much wrapped up in the first leg. 4-0. Basel actually won the game, which was good, but yeah. Little bit of thing to note with the Manchester City game. Gabriel Jesus is back and amongst the goals for Manchester City.
Yes, yes, that's a good boost for them at the end of the season.
Yeah, absolutely. Keeps Aguero on his toes as well, you have to say.
Yeah.
Out of City and Liverpool, who do you think has the better chance of getting through the quarterfinals?
That is a very difficult question.
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna say probably Liverpool.
Really?
Because I think Liverpool can do better just with, like with a one-off tie, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think certainly over the course of a 38 game season, Manchester City have proven themselves to be the better team, but I think Liverpool, I think Jurgen Klopp can just like get the team going, set them up in a certain way, and if they're all in right on their gegenpressing, they can win. I think they can beat anybody, right? They showed that this season when they played Manchester City and beat them, right? They're a good squad. They just lose focus a lot, or they can't play the same style all the time, and that kind of hinders them a little bit. But I think when they do those things, they can beat anyone.
Yeah, I agree with you there. I think Liverpool does have that kind of just something where like one game they can just explode and be the best that they could be, and just they could beat anyone on any given day.
Yeah.
Which kind of gives them a little bit of an X factor for the next round. I think a lot of it depends on who they draw in the next round. If City draws Real and Liverpool draws Shakhtar, obviously I would say Liverpool has the better chance to go through. But yeah, we will see when that comes to it.
Yeah.
As far as PSG and Real goes, were PSG unlucky in these two legs? Because I've seen a lot of people say, PSG were the better side, especially in the first game and in the first half of this one, where they had the better chances. They just didn't take them. They got unlucky. Marco Verratti didn't deserve to be sent off. I've heard a lot about that. I'm not sure I agree with that. What are you thinking?
Yeah, I don't think I really agree with that either. I mean, they, even before Verratti got sent off, they were still on track to lose the tie, right?
Right.
He got sent off in the 60th minute. At that time, the game was just 1-1, right?
Right.
So, if you assume the status quo remains, or if you assume that PSG get another goal and win the game, 2-1, that still doesn't get them through. They still lost. So, maybe a little bit unlucky that Verratti got sent off, but you got to say, it's not like Real weren't the better team over these two games, right?
Right.
It's not like Real, they got lucky with all 5 goals that they scored in this leg. I think that's a little bit, Yeah. I don't know if that's just PSG fans who feel like, who are upset, and
that's probably most of that.
Yeah, I think it's silly to say that, Real Madrid just got lucky a whole bunch of times and that's the reason they won. No, I mean, they are the 2-time reigning champions, right? They have Cristiano Ronaldo on their team who just scores goals whenever he wants to. You didn't get lucky. They got beaten by a better team, right?
Yeah. Right. I
think that clearly showed.
Yeah. I mean, you could say PSG got lucky, with their goal was absolutely rubbish. I mean, yeah, Cavani just stood there and the ball somehow hit him and went in. Yeah. And, Real Madrid, I think, hit the post twice in this game. So,
Mm-hmm.
again, could have been a lot worse. And, Real Madrid sat 3 or 4 of their starters that they easily could have just put in. I mean, you saw as soon as Toni Kroos and Gareth Bale came into the game, PSG hardly touched the ball. I mean, granted, they had 10 men at that point, but yeah. Let's talk about Karim Benzema for a second. I was watching this game in a restaurant with a bunch of my friends here, and every time Benzema touched the ball and did something bad, which was most of the time that he touched the ball, there's just a roarous laughter from all of the people in the restaurant. I don't understand how Benzema is Real Madrid's standard of a striker. I don't get it. Like, why?
Yeah.
Why is this? I mean, maybe he plays in this one because they don't really need to win this one, but
Mm-hmm.
I don't see it. And I've said that for a while. I mean, he has his games. He scores goals, but yeah, I just think they could do a lot better up front.
Yeah, I would definitely agree with you. I think I suspect that Real Madrid will try to make an upgrade at the striker position after this World Cup.
Yeah,
Obviously, there's no way to be sure, but I definitely think it would be wise for them to shop around at least for a new striker. I mean,
yeah,
there are so many people that they can get to come and to play at that club.
yeah,
They could have, basically anybody in the world that they wanted almost. So
right,
I think at this point, there's no reason to keep Benzema around forever, right?
right.
I suspect that part of it comes down to the financials of it. I think over the last couple of seasons, Real Madrid haven't spent a ton of money on new transfers,
Hmm.
like they have at different points in the past, and I think part of that might just be, they need to, they need to save up a little bit of money, pay off a little bit of debt before they can
Yeah,
go and, break the bank again. But
right.
I I would not be surprised at all if he was not there next season.
Yeah. You kind of get the feeling, like you said, Real hasn't spent money recently. I think they, like you said, they might be saving up, and I think they're going to spend big this summer.
Yeah, yeah. I'd expect to see that, especially if they don't win the Champions League. I think, they had two fantastic seasons where they won the Champions League twice in a row. I mean, that is
Yeah.
a huge accomplishment.
Right.
But I think if this Champions League run does not go well for them,
Hmm.
if they lose in the next round, you've got to say this will not be a good season for Real Madrid, right?
Right. Right.
To go out in the Champions League in the quarterfinals and then to be so far behind in La Liga,
Yeah.
not great.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's look at the other side then for PSG. They've got Ligue 1 wrapped up as they do pretty much every year. Um, is this? I mean, this can't be a successful season for them, can it?
No, I mean, I will say in PSG's defense, they did draw possibly, the most difficult team
Mm,
here. I suspect that if they would have come up against, a Liverpool or a Porto or a Basel or Sevilla or Man United or Shakhtar or Roma or Besiktas, or Tottenham or possibly Juve, they could have
yeah.
easily gotten a result, right?
Yeah, they did get a little
Um,
unlucky with their draw, but at the same time, they're going to come up against Real Madrid or Barcelona or something like that eventually. So like, if
right,
they can't beat them in the
right,
round of 16, they're
yeah,
going to be able to beat them later on.
yeah,
So
right, exactly. What's the difference between losing to PSG in the round of six, or losing to Real Madrid in the round of 16, and losing to Real Madrid in the final?
yeah,
There is none. You still lost the Champions League.
Right.
Um, so yeah. I wouldn't say it's been a particularly successful season for them. Um, I've heard rumors that Unai Emery is going to be out of a job soon. I
I
mean,
would
would you
think so.
fire him on the basis of this season?
I would. You spend 400 million pounds in the summer, and
Yeah,
get you don't get as far as you did last year in the Champions
right,
League. I
right.
mean, that's unacceptable. I mean, yeah, Neymar wasn't fit for this one, but at the same time, you have so much talent that you can at your disposal. They
Yeah,
should be competing with Real Madrid.
and I
And they just
mean,
did.
what do you think of his tactical decisions that he made in this game? Like, do you feel like part of their loss in this tie was his coaching?
I think a part of it, maybe. I think it seemed like a lot of his players were kind of isolated at times, and they struggled to break the press. They turned the ball over in midfield quite a bit.
Yeah,
Um, I think, you know, they didn't. I think they could have played a little more direct than they did. I think Cavani was absolutely starved of service, especially in the first half. Um, yeah, and I think their wingers were very isolated as well. So I think they could have went a little more direct. I think they could have went a little more counterattacking style than they did, because they tried to keep the ball under Real's immense press, and they failed miserably to be able to keep the ball in the back. So I think they should have went a little more direct. But yeah, I think part of it comes down to his coaching, and just part of it comes down to his players as well.
yeah.
Um,
I, I, I think if they had a different coach, they might have won this tie.
yeah,
Um, I've heard some rumors lately about Antonio Conte possibly going to PSG at the end of this season.
interesting.
Um, so yeah, I mean we'll have to see there, right? I think to me it is likely that Unai Emery leaves PSG, and it is also likely that Antonio Conte leaves Chelsea. So I think
Right.
that to me that opens up a door. And I mean, do you think that that PSG would have won this tie if they had Antonio Conte as manager?
That's a difficult question. Obviously, Antonio Conte plays a completely different system. He plays the 3-4-3. Um, yeah, that's an interesting question. I think they would have been more defensively sound for sure, and I think he probably would have set them up a little bit differently. But yeah, I don't know. It's still tough to beat Real Madrid in two legs.
Yeah, yeah,
Um, yeah, so there it is. There's those four teams that are through. Let's talk about Juventus, I guess, for a second. Again, how is this the year for Buffon to get the Champions League?
Oh, I hope so. I hope. I mean, okay. As a Manchester United fan, I hope Manchester United win, but probably not going to happen, right?
Right,
I recognize that Manchester United are not the best team in this competition, and they're not the second best team, and they're not the third best team, or the fourth best team. So, if it's not going to be us, why shouldn't it be, Gigi Buffon at Juventus, right? They
right.
have tried so hard over the last, 3 or 4 seasons to win the Champions League. They made it to those finals. I loved watching both of those finals. I loved watching the final against Real. I loved watching the one they played against Barcelona.
Yeah,
Um, I, you know, I would say I would not be surprised at all, really, to see them in the final again. I think this result to me really showed that, no matter what opposition they come up against, right? Whether it's this older, experienced Barcelona team, right, that has lots of experience in the Champions League, Juventus can beat them. Whether it's this young, free flowing, rah rah attacking Tottenham team, right? Juventus can beat them, right?
yeah,
I think,
absolutely.
they're an adaptable squad, right? They're a mature squad in the way that they go about games.
Yeah, they have
And I
plenty
think
of
those are
experience.
two big important things for winning the Champions League. So I see no reason why they can't go all the way.
Yeah, I agree. Um, yeah, I'd love. I mean, it'd be a great fairy tale for Buffon to go out on a Champions League.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that about wraps it up for our Champions League coverage. Keep your eyes peeled for next week with another set of 4 ties coming to an end there. I guess we can go to our 20 questions series now, and I believe it is me guessing for you.
Yes. Yes. I believe that is correct.
Do you
All
have
right.
your football thing?
I do. Yes, I do.
All right. Just to clarify, the score is 4-2, I believe.
Is that correct? I don't know. I honestly have no idea what the score is.
I believe that's true. We'll go back and check previous episodes as well just to confirm that, but I believe it's 4-2.
Okay.
Maybe it's 3-2. I don't know. We'll look.
I thought I still only had one.
No,
No,
'cause
wait, I
last
do have two. I
yeah,
have two, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Because
Okay.
of last week, you guessed. Yeah, last week, listeners, if you didn't hear last week, Garrett guessed my person, and my person was the referee, Mike Dean.
Yes. Right.
So
Yeah. Okay.
yeah,
Okay.
okay. Is your football 20 question thing a person?
Yes, it is.
Okay. Is it a player?
Yes, it is.
Excellent. Did your player play in one of these last 4 Champions League ties that we just covered?
Yes, they did.
Oh, yes. That's a good question.
That is a good question to ask. Yeah.
I got lucky with that.
Yeah.
Let's see. Did this team play on Tuesday, March 6th?
Yes. Yes.
They did.
They did play on the Tuesday game.
Did they play for PSG or Real Madrid? Either one of those.
Yes, they do.
Yes. Okay. Did they play for Real Madrid?
No.
Did they play for PSG?
Yes.
Okay. Is this person a midfielder?
Can you define the specific positions that you count as midfielder?
Yes. Center defensive mid, center mid,
Mhm.
center attacking mid. I would like left mid and right mid. I think are like wingers.
Okay,
Yeah.
then they do not play in one of those positions.
Okay. Do they play winger as far as left mid or left wing, right wing, sort of?
Yes, yeah, yeah.
They do.
Mhm.
Okay.
They play
Is
out wide.
okay. Is your player Kylian Mbappe?
No,
Is your player Angel Di Maria?
no,
Is your player Julian Draxler?
yes.
Oh, yes. Nice.
Very
Yeah.
good.
He did not have the best of games when he came in.
No, he did not. No, he did not. Yeah.
I saw he had an interesting quote after the game about how he was like, yeah, we did not deserve to win. And it was sort of like the same thing, like if we didn't deserve to win this game, then we definitely didn't deserve to win the Champions League. And he kind of like was answering those like unlucky sort of questions. And he's like, these are the kind of teams that we have to beat. So,
Right. Yeah.
yeah. Well, one last thing that I'd like to touch on is just something in La Liga that happened this past weekend, and that was Barcelona beating Atletico Madrid 1-0. And that kind of almost wraps up the title for Barcelona.
Yes.
Yeah, that
Yes.
puts the gap to I think 11 points now.
Yes, that's pretty big. So
Yeah. Well done to Barcelona and to Lionel Messi, who has scored 3 free kicks in a row, I think, in consecutive games.
very impressive from
Yeah.
him. He is not known for free kicks.
He's doing amazingly well with his set pieces, and he's good for a couple a season usually. So
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
Should we do goal of the week, story of the week, player of the week?
Oh yeah, sure. Let's do that.
All right. Hugh, what is your goal of the week?
It has to be Nemanja Matic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a really, really good goal.
Yeah. Honorable mention would go to Lionel Messi for his free kick, but
Yes.
yeah.
That was a good free kick. I think I was debating between the Matic goal and Riyad Mahrez's free kick.
Oh yeah.
Did you see this? Yeah, so he was pretty far out, and he basically like I don't even know how to say it. Like kind of gets the ball like through the wall, but also like around the wall, like into the goal. It was a pretty good goal.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna give my goal of the week to him.
Nice. Yeah. That was a cheeky goal.
Yeah. Who's your player of the week?
My player of the week is going to be Paulo Dybala.
Okay.
We knew he had to have a big game for Juventus to get a result, and he did. His goal was fantastic on the break. So.
Yes. Yeah.
And for you?
I would definitely say that Dybala, possibly the best player this week, but I'm gonna give my my player of the week to Heung-min Son.
Yes. That was
scored both
option.
goals for Tottenham in their game at the weekend, and also scored Tottenham's only goal in the Champions League as well. So
yeah,
he's been on a particularly good run of form lately. So I thought he deserved it.
Yeah, he could have had a hat trick in the game against Juventus. He had quite a few chances.
Yeah,
so.
yeah, he had some good opportunities. Just couldn't quite finish. But I mean, he's been playing particularly well lately. So.
Right. Yeah, he's been in really good form.
Yeah.
What's your story?
What's your story of the week?
Oh, for mine. Well, obviously, David Astori passed away recently, and that's obviously a huge story in world football, and it's very sad. Obviously, our thoughts and prayers go out to Fiorentina and to his family as well. So that's been a huge story, just running through world football. So I'd like to at least mention that for sure. And then as far as my story of the week goes, my story of the week is that apparently Antoine Griezmann agreed personal terms with Barcelona last summer, but did not want to move because of the transfer embargo, obviously, and not being able to get a replacement. So yeah, it seems like that's going to be a done deal in the summer, at least according to reports from Spain. So yeah, pretty interesting there, especially after his. I've heard it said his audition at the Camp Nou went pretty poorly.
Yeah. Yes. It seems like Griezmann will be wearing a Barcelona shirt next year.
Yeah, which will be pretty scary.
Yeah.
And how about for you? Your story of the week?
My story of the week is basically just a quote from Thiago Alcantara, who, although he acknowledged that Manchester City played some awesome football, he said they, quote, don't make him think, wow, when he watches them. So I decided to pick this story because I think it's interesting whenever like players talk about other teams and how like sometimes like I feel like this is kind of like pre-Champions League tie smack talk, right?
Yeah.
Like he thinks that they might run into City, so he's gonna like say something to try to get into the head of like one of the City players.
Yeah.
And I always think it's interesting like what other players think when they watch like other teams play.
Yeah,
Um,
absolutely.
like I follow some people on who play in MLS on like Twitter,
Hmm.
and I love to watch their responses like when they watch Champions League games because I think it's so interesting. Like, it's one thing as a fan to like watch it, but like as like a fellow player,
Right.
I think their responses are always pretty fascinating.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, and especially with Thiago, he's played some pretty wow football himself. With
Yeah,
Bayern Munich and with Barcelona as well. So
yeah,
um, yeah, that's interesting. It'll be cool to see if they draw each other in the next round.
yes, yeah. That
Um,
that would be an interesting twist of fate.
yeah, absolutely. Um, Yeah, so I think that about wraps it up for this week. Thank you always for joining us. Please make sure to rate and review the show. Leave us some comments so that way we know what you guys like, what you guys dislike, so we can get you the content that you guys want to see. Please also share the show as well. That'll help us with our rating and publicity as well. So thank you for joining us, and until next time, I'm Hugh Hayner, and he's Garrett, and we'll see you next time. Thanks. Bye.
Bye.